gosh, sweet as can be.
Very, very nice, yes.
Yeah, but anyway, she's part of the Direct from Sweden group, and will be here Saturday night. And she did get me kind of excited about going maybe to Sweden someday.
Oh, I'd love to go to Sweden, absolutely.
I would too, man. I'm in. All right, it's 8:31, and time to go to press here, brought to you this morning by our friends. And, of course, that would be Roger Hemming, LLC. Find Roger on the west side. He's there with all your construction, overhead doors, and fencing. And with fog downtown at 60, once again, here's Bill.
Thanks, Steve, and good morning, everyone. The city of Portsmouth wants everyone to know that effective Monday, November 25th, 6th Street from Washington Street to Gay Street will permanently become a one-way street heading east. Now, 6th Street will be closed on Monday the 25th in order to install pavement markings and signage. The city's asking motorists to please avoid the area on that day so that the work can be done in a safe manner. And if you travel the street regularly, please amend your travel to abide by the new one-way direction. The Southern Poverty Law Center is an organization that investigates hate groups across our country. The organization shared information it gathered on the neo-Nazi group that marched in Columbus over the weekend, as well as concerns over more hate groups making their way to Ohio in the near future. I spoke with Jeff Tischhauser, a senior research analyst for the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Groups that exist to harm and vilify people based on immutable characteristics pose a risk anytime you see them out in public. This is their second on-the-ground rally that we've tracked. The first one being in September in St. Louis. The groups that are targeting Ohio right now, and I'm in there some of their chats, I see their propaganda. They see Ohio as convenient logistically. There's like a really kind of big hub of this activity in and around, southern Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri. And a lot of the groups, they don't want to drive too far, and they pick Ohio as kind of like a central meeting point.
Tischhauser also told us that even though these groups typically claim to be nonviolent, they do still have the capacity for violence. Ohio State Highway Patrol Trooper Trent Thompson has been selected as the 2024 Trooper of the Year at the Portsmouth Post. Now, the selection of Thompson, who's 31 years old, is in recognition of his outstanding service during this year at the post. Fellow officers stationed chose Thompson based on leadership abilities, professional ethics, courteous treatment of others, his work attitude, and cooperation with supervisors, peers, and the public. Thompson is now in contention for the District and State Trooper of the Year award that'll be announced at a later date. And it is officially the holiday season, and an iconic part of it kicks off this Saturday. Here's Major Dan Simcoe of the Portsmouth Salvation Army.
We're planning and preparing for Christmas assistance, and what also comes along with that is our intensive fundraising effort with our Red Kettles that I'm sure people have already seen out. And this coming Saturday is our official kettle kickoff with our advisory board at the Portsmouth Kroger.
Now, it's going to be a day of giving and fun, according to Simcoe.
We will have the fire department will be there with one of their vehicles, barring any emergencies that they need to respond to. We'll have a Salvation Army brass band playing Christmas carols. We'll have the Breeze radio station there doing a live remote with playing music and giveaway, and also doing a canned food drive. And then throughout the day, we'll have board members there ringing the bells and during the course of the day. And then from 5 to 7, Santa Claus will be there.
Simcoe also told us the event starts at 10 a.m. and if you're going to donate food, items such as canned vegetables, soups, and box stuffing are in need. For Mix 99.3 News, I'm Bill Shope.
Well, it's 8:35, and amongst other things today, we're keeping our eye on our computers because today is Name Your Computer Day. We've talked about that a little earlier, but funny names people throw out there, and but computers can be... I just found out the other day, remember when we were talking about QWERTY?
Yeah.
Did you know what QWERTY was? Do you know what?
Nope.
Well, Josh Justice of the Portsmouth Police Department said basically he was sending me a traffic tie-up thing, but also said, by the way, QWERTY is the top row left side of the keyboard.
Makes sense.
QWERTY. Q-W-E-R-T-Y.
Learn something every day.
Okay. Well, you've learned that, but why do we have the cap lock right next to the shift button? Because I don't know how many times I'm trying to send out emails and whatever, and it turns out I'm typing like a terrorist.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't understand
Whoever
that
came
either.
up with that idea?
It's amazing to me. They've been very little few changes in keyboard layout since, it was invented.
Well, I think there needs to be a big apology about that one.
Hello, I am the caps lock key. I'd like to sincerely apologize for being in the worst possible spot. I regret that whoever designed the QWERTY keyboard decided to put me just 1/16th of an inch away from the shift key. Every third word you type, I accidentally get pressed. Then you need to reach way up to hit the delete key until your right pinky gets a cramp. I ought to be up there next to the screen brightness button. Nobody ever accidentally hits that. Besides, who even uses me other than angry folks yelling on Twitter? Oops, I accidentally pressed myself instead when I hit the letter A, and I'm sorry. Apologetically yours, the caps lock key.
Thank you, Morgan Freeman.
Straight from Shawshank.
There you go, man. All right, this update brought to you this morning by Roger Hemming, LLC. Find Roger on the west side for all your construction, overhead doors, and fencing, and we'll check in with ONN next.
Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing has all kinds of garage doors in multiple sizes and colors for commercial and residential use and offers both sales and service. Fencing-wise, there's wood, vinyl, metal, and chain link. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing can custom make gates and is the only company around that can install and service electrical gate openers. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing, 22115 State Route 73 West Portsmouth at Roger Hemming Contractors LLC. Phone 740-529-0133. Guaranteed lowest prices, financing available, credit cards accepted. See store for details.
And good morning. It's 8:38 downtown. We've got 60 as we check in with ONN.
This is ONN. I'm Jay Fox on the Ohio News Network. In Southwest Ohio, the Cincinnati Enquirer reports that local gastroenterologist Dr. David Joseph Wensky is being investigated by the State Medical Board of Ohio for allegedly sexually assaulting multiple patients over the course of a decade. The allegations include inappropriate touching, misconduct with a coworker, and sexual assault of multiple patients. He was fired from a Columbus medical practice for similar circumstances dating back to 2017. His current employer was not aware of his prior problems. A number of agencies in Central Ohio are facing a lawsuit outlining a series of claims leading up to the death of Darnell Taylor. Tara Jabor of ONN affiliate WBNS-TV reports.
The estate of Darnell Taylor filed a lawsuit against Franklin County Children's Services and a number of other organizations saying that his death was preventable. Now, that 5-year-old boy died back in February. His guardian at the time, Pammy May, is accused of his killing after a statewide Amber Alert. In this lawsuit, they name a number of other people. It's Franklin County Children's Services. It's also a division of Buckeye Ranch. They also name the Franklin County Commissioners and Pammy May and her husband.
Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Vogt was named 2024 American League Manager of the Year yesterday. Vogt is the first to go from Major League Player to Manager of the Year in just 2 years. For the Ohio News Network, I'm Jay Fox.
Yeah, but wait till Tito hits town, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's time for sports at 8:39, brought to you by Roger Hemming, LLC, on the West Side 104 for all your construction needs, overhead door, and fencing. Well, Chuck is back again. You didn't do your hump day thing, did you?
Oh, I did. Yes.
I'm sorry, did I miss it?
You must have. I think you were all, jazzed up on the opportunity to speak with some Swedish folks, and you just
Did you hear my Swedish girl, Jenny?
I did. Very good interview. Very nice gal.
She was very, very sweet. And the thing was, I found out 30 seconds before we went on the air, it wasn't Peter.
It was definitely not.
It was
She did not
Jenny.
sound like a Peter at all.
No, she was Jenny. All right. Time for sports. Here's Chuck.
Yesterday in the NBA, the Celtics knocked off the Cavs 120-117. First loss of the season for the Cavs, who are now 15-1. Donovan Mitchell led Cleveland in defeat last night. He scored 35 points. Jason Tatum had 33 for the reigning world champion Celtics, which led Boston. In men's college basketball last night, Ohio State ousted Evansville 80-30. 3 Buckeyes scored in double digits. Devin Royal had a team-high 20 points as OSU improved to 3-1. Ninth-ranked Kentucky knocked off Lipscomb 97-68. 4 Wildcats scored in double figures. Jackson Robinson led the way with 20 points as UK improved to 4-0. The Shawnee State University men's basketball team fell short to Georgetown 91-63. The Bears are now 3-3. The SSU women opened up their season last night with a 97-53 win over Wilberforce. Mark Kayla Holland led the Bears with a career-high 31 points. The new college football playoff rankings were released last night. Ohio State remains second to Oregon. Texas, Penn State, and Indiana round out the top 5. The remainder of the top 10 consists of Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami, Ole Miss, and Georgia. Of the 12 teams that go to the playoffs, the top 4 will receive a first-round bye, but those top 4 spots will be reserved for conference champions, so the ratings are simply a basis for postseason seeding. That gets a little confusing because people see that Ohio State's second. You automatically presume the Buckeyes would have a first-round bye. If OSU doesn't win the Big Ten, that will not be how that goes down. So right now, Oregon sits atop the Big Ten standings. If the playoffs started today, Ohio State would not have a first-round bye. The Buckeyes would actually host BYU in the first round. Now, if the season would end today, check out these first-round matchups. In addition to OSU and BYU playing at the Horseshoe in Columbus, Notre Dame would host Alabama, Georgia would go to Penn State, and Ole Miss would visit Indiana, while Oregon, Texas, Miami, and Boise State would have opening round byes. Those standings are going to change a lot between now and the playoffs starting, but boy, that is certainly some intriguing conversation, some great matchups, at least on paper. Last night in college football, Miami of Ohio knocked off Northern Illinois 20-9. Akron was a winner over Kent State 38-17, and Central Michigan down Western Michigan 16-14. This evening in college football, the Ohio University Bobcats will visit Toledo for a 7 o'clock kickoff. Also this evening at 7, Buffalo will play at Eastern Michigan, and the Wheelersburg Pirates will go up against Ironton this Friday in a regional championship game. And you'll be able to hear that live right here on Mix 99.3. It'll be played at South Point High School. Coverage will begin at 6:30, leading up to the 7 o'clock kickoff. Your Portsmouth Insurance sports time is 8:42. Portsmouth Insurance is a TAH benefits partner. Call Gary Duzan for all of your employee benefit needs. And that is a look at sports.
All right, and thank you, Chuck. And this update brought to you by Roger Hemming, LLC. On the West Side 104, we've got traffic weather together next.
Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing has all kinds of garage doors in multiple sizes and colors for commercial and residential use. It offers both sales and service. Fencing-wise, there's wood, vinyl, metal, and chain link. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing can custom make gates and is the only company around that can install and service electrical gate openers. Southern Ohio Overhead Doors and Fencing, 22115 State Route 73 West Portsmouth at Roger Hemming Contractors, LLC. Phone 740-529-0133. Guaranteed lowest prices, financing available, credit cards accepted. See store for details.
And it is your traffic, a service of your friends at the Scioto River, 1024 Gallia Street. Of course, the river will be there today at 11, and they'll also be there cooking right up to Thanksgiving. If you'd like to have them do your Thanksgiving dinner, just arrange that, and you can pick it up. We've got the fog is shifting around a little bit. It's still heavy, but it's kind of moving around a little bit this morning, so just be careful of that. We do have a fog advisory in effect till 9. Carey's Run in Washington Township is closed between Bellamy Road and Crane Road, and again, we're going to be closing up 6th Street, yes, on the 25th. It's going to be one way beginning on Monday, and it'll be heading east, and we'll have more on that, keep you updated. But your traffic is service of your friends at the Scioto River, open 7 days a week.
Weather is service of Mary's Spirit Shop with new gift items just in time for the holidays, including mugs, shirts, and fundraising items for schools and clubs. Don't forget to see Mary's at 2109 Gallia Street for all of your printing needs. And with an in-house graphic designer, Mary can create anything.
First alert forecast from WSAZ. Today is the first alert weather day. Initially mild conditions under mostly cloudy skies. Following that morning fog leads to a gusty sweep of rain pushing through this afternoon. Temperatures initially in the 60s, but falling quickly through the 40s into the 30s by Thursday morning. And that's when we turn our attention to the risk for snow coming through, especially in the evening.
I'm WSAZ News Channel 3 meteorologist Brandon Butcher on the Ohio Valley's hit music channel, Mix 99.3.
And downtown right now with the fog, we currently have 60 as we get up and go.
Mixing it up in the morning with Steve Hayes. Steve Hayes. Mix